Welcome to the Infill Podcast, where we interview the most interesting members of the 3D printing and maker communities, live and with audience participation. And now, here is your host, Jonathan Levy.
Hello. Welcome, everyone. Really excited for today's episode. Before we get started, let's do one of my favorite segments, which is the What's Printing Jonathan segment, brought to you by Octo Everywhere. As you can see, not a whole lot is currently printing, but that's totally fine because Octo Everywhere will allow me over the weekend, which is starting pretty soon here where I live, to fire off a bunch of prints at the various locations where I have my printers, and also check, thanks to the AI and the remote function, check that indeed my print of 3 different multi-board panels worked perfectly fine overnight. You can sign up for free and get a $25 credit using the link in the description. All right, on to today's episode. Today we are joined once again by co-founder of STLFlix and now STLAI, Bruno Boas. We're going to talk about, my goal for the episode is just to understand, number one, this new development they've come out with, which is a 3D modeling AI specifically for 3D printing, but also understand the future, the vision, the challenges. I think a lot of us have probably tried different AI solutions for 3D printing and they aren't all that good yet. So how have they approached this differently? But also, are we going to get to a point where we can create useful and functional things using AI? So with that, let me welcome my guest, Bruno. How are you, my friend?
Hey, nice to be here one more time. Thank you again for having us this time
My
for
pleasure.
this
My pleasure.
new product that we're launching. We're super excited to talk
Yeah,
about
you
it.
guys have been working hard. Tell us about, so for those who
Yeah.
haven't seen the press release, I assume everyone knows that STLFlix, your company, is a model repository, like a subscription website where you get new models every week. Tell us about STLAI really quickly, and then, not to make it an advertisement for you guys, but I want people to understand what you guys announced so we can pick up the conversation from that point, and I can assume prior knowledge for the audience.
Okay, cool. So I think it's not a secret for anyone that the 3D AIs are getting much better, right? We're almost reaching a point where we will have a very good 3D quality that it's going to be similar to what the 3D artists do. The 3D artists, they will always have their own space. We are creators ourselves, so we don't feel like AI is going to substitute anyone, especially because we don't feel that people always will have that drive to create something. The majority of us, we like to consume the models from the people that we appreciate and love within the community. But it is something that is getting better. And we always been approached to these very specific cases of that guy that says, hey, my kid's high school team has a mascot that is an alligator wearing a helmet. And these types of things, these types of models, they will never get done by your creator because they're super specific. And the majority of us, we do have like these ideas of stuff that we would like to have that are very related to ourselves, like including like doing yourself, like doing a bubble head of yourself. Like if you go to someone that never used a 3D printer before, the first thing that they're gonna ask is like, can I make a bubble head of myself? Like it's just these types of questions we get every time. So to answer these questions, and because we feel that nobody did a decent AI for 3D printing yet, we decided to tackle this challenge. And it was a lot of effort, a lot of study. We had to change a little bit the profile of professionals we have within STLFlix in order to reach this product. But I think I'm super satisfied of what we have achieved. And I think we have something very new and very unique that I'm excited to show you.
So I'll give the audience a little bit of an understanding because I'm doing a short about it, but I haven't put it out yet. So basically what you guys have created is, at the beginning it'll sound like, oh, we've seen that, but I can take a photo of myself, a family member, a customer, a pet, upload it, and in one step, one photo, it creates a watertight 3D model. But then what I think is interesting about what you guys are doing is you said, okay, it's really wonderful to be able to make a bobblehead of yourself, but what's next? So now that we have that geometry, let's make a bookshelf thing, a book end. Let's make an incense holder. Let's make a wine bottle holder. Let's make real practical, useful objects that can be personalized for birthdays, for if you're a narcissist and you want your whole house to have your face all over it, for customers to show your favorite pets. So that to me is where it gets interesting, I think, because it is a novelty to be able to make a little, I have somewhere here, I didn't even put it up, it's a novelty the first time. I didn't even put it back up on the wall when I redid my wall. It's a novelty the first time to have a little statue of yourself, but then it's like, okay, cool. What's interesting to me and what I think will be interesting to my audience is like, okay, how can I personalize the things in my world, and especially for gifts? Oh my God, can you imagine how much money all us 3D printers are going to save on gifts when it's like, here, I got you a wine bottle holder with your face on it.
Yeah. And these, we currently, almost 70% of our subscribers are commercial subscribers. And if you go to what are the real opportunities for you to make money within 3D printing? Especially now that we are seeing these big farms pushing 3D printed models into wholesalers and that type of thing. The big opportunity, and where you have more margin, where you have a lot more demand, is to go to the customized space. If you go to Etsy and you look at the most sold items, the majority of them are customized. People like to purchase customized gifts, and 3D printing gives us that possibility. Even if you have a big farm, it doesn't change too much if you're going to manufacture 50 of the same or 50 different items. 3D printing gives us the possibility. 3D printing became a tool for prototyping, for creating stuff that are non-replicable. So when we are replicating the same STL over and over and over, we're not really using it for the best purpose. But when we have the customization involved into it, and this is where the angle that we're looking at the AI, you have the possibility of doing customized things every time you print something new. So one thing that we have added to our AI solution is that we have the creator toolkit, which every creator can create a model that is STLAI compatible. So even if you have a favorite creator that you enjoy their work, you can always tell them, hey, do you have models that are STLAI compatible? Because we have Body 3D, for instance. He did this very cool bodybuilder. They can attach your head to it, and we haven't thought about that yet. So when we have the community creating models that are going to be STLAI compatible, it's going to give another dimension to it. And right now we only have one tool, which is the head remover. But our idea is that in the future, we will have other creator tools that will open up possibilities for more creators to join, and for more applications also. So
and I've actually been,
what we're going to be doing in the future.
I'll admit, two questions that we already have, and I want to get the audience involved here. So first one is Spectra V3I says, no to AI STL files. I block every single one of them on printables. I wish I took the time to report every single one. And I want to clarify, because maybe I didn't present it clearly. What you're actually talking about is not AI models. What you're talking about is human generated models, like the bobblehead that your team made, like the incense holder, like the toothpaste vomit thing. What you're actually talking about is AI customizing attachments for human-made models. And I want to tell a quick story. It's a shame it's in the other room, but when I wanted to do my death racer, I contacted the guy who modeled. I actually paid $200 to have that model made of me for a gag in a video. And I went back to him and I was like, hey, I updated my hair. Can you do it for me? He's like, I really don't want to, man. And I was like, well, but I could bring you a lot of business. A lot of my audience might want to do that, or have their head made for their own death racer. He's like, dude, it's literally, it takes me so much time to do it. I don't want you to advertise it. Don't tell people who did it for you. And I was like, wow. Because it takes him 2 days to model a head. And how much is a person realistically going to pay to have their own face on their own death racer? Which, by the way, that's a good, easy one for you guys to do. It's just a special geometry. Oh, okay. You already do that.
we could do the death. I don't know how the death racer attachment is,
It's just a
but we could
very
definitely.
specific. I'll send you the STL. It's super
Awesome.
easy.
Well, let's work on
But
that
what we're
because we
actually
can
talking
create just
about
a
is
piece.
taking the burden off
Go
of
ahead.
creators of this work that, as you said, I'm the only person who's going to pay for a copy of my head, maybe my wife.
Yeah.
And it's not worth the
Your mom.
money to do it. Even if I
Yeah.
were willing to pay $100, it's still not worth the money. Which is a bummer,
Absolutely.
because also think about, like, I think there are probably a lot of parents, if I weren't in this world, for my kid's birthday, like to have a custom made doll that
Yeah.
I would pay like $80 probably, but no designer wants to do that. And I actually went on
Yeah, and
Fiverr
like
and
if you
tried to get it
want to
done. And
have like the mascot of your kid's high school team, that's something that you can do, and no other creator is gonna do that. So what we're doing in STLAI is definitely not a tool for people to just push a lot of AI junk into the marketplaces, which I've
totally.
seen, and I also don't appreciate at all, especially because like what we're seeing now, people are getting the image that they submit to the STL to the AIs to create the model, and they're using that image as a display image on the marketplace. But then once you download the model, it's something completely different. And I
Right.
agree, this is a terrible, terrible thing that is happening right now. But that's not what we're doing. So what we're doing is something different. It's something for you to create your. It's either these hybrid models, as you said,
Yeah.
where we have the STLFlix team made model that you just change the head or you change some detail into it, or what we are doing, which are the tools that we currently only have the mini flexi,
Yeah.
that you generate the model, and then you go on to doing what the creators do, which is to cut the model in order to make it articulated. I can do a little demo if we have the space, if you want.
I would say, yeah, but we get such a high percentage of people listening audio only that I think it's
Okay,
probably stay tuned, and I have a short coming out about it, but also
awesome.
check it out. We'll put a link in the description. I'm just jotting down a bunch of questions that I have. One person asked Jonathan specifically, I guess me, because I'm an unbiased party. Do you think the AI could make it in high quality? So I will say, like, Bruno knows this. I was very skeptical when you guys showed this to me, and I was kind of like, okay. And then I've been beating it up for a week or so and testing like some weird use cases. Like, does it replicate expressions, right? Like someone asked me, I have a family member who does counseling, and she was like, if I
Mhm.
upload a picture of myself angry to it and a picture of myself happy, will I get two different models? Yes. Or like I uploaded a picture of my son who's missing two teeth, and the AI reproduced it. It didn't give him general teeth. It gave him like very distinctively his teeth. So my answer to that would be, yeah, I've actually been very impressed by how faithfully it reproduces most things. I think you have to be
Yeah,
careful with the angle of the picture. Like I uploaded a
yeah.
dead on picture and it didn't get my nose right because you can't tell from dead on like how big my nose is. But I've been pretty impressed.
Yeah, because the first step, like we started, obviously, when we're talking about 3D AIs and we are into the 3D printing space, specifically making 3D models, it's something that you have to look at, right? So we started to study that in the end of last year, where it was still like pretty low quality. And the first thing that we started to notice is that the image counts a lot. And what you have currently in like all of the 3D AIs that you have out there, some of them they have the image creator, but very low quality image creator. And then you go to the 3D. So it needs a good 2D in order to generate a good 3D as well. So this is
Right.
why on our solution, we make sure that we are going to be making the 2D that the AI is going to interpret. So it's this
Mm,
two-step process where you submit the photo, and then it goes through this image creator that we know what are the things that need to be optimized. And like you said, it needs to show the face 3/4 instead of that on front,
right.
because then it's gonna know some of the face features. We make everything like kind of like plastic, like matte plastic. These are general tips if you want to create something using 3D AI, and you want to
That's
do with
interesting.
some of the ones that are
That's
out
very
there. Just make
interesting.
sure that first of all, don't throw a photo in there. Just make sure that you get this photo, go through the process of making it matte plastic, with a good angle, with good lighting, with infinite background. So all of these things. So we make sure that the image goes through this entire process. Um, And then once the 2D is done and it's in good quality, then we throw it into the 3D AI and it generates the final file. And then that's not done yet. Then it goes through the process of actually cutting the model to make it printable, adding articulations in the mini flexi case. So it's really this streamlined process that optimizes all the way from the 2D into the final file to make sure that we have the optimal quality for 3D printing.
What
Because
are the
this is also
challenges? You
something that
said,
we
sorry, go ahead.
no, it's because this is also something that we have understood from when we started to look into these companies is that the serviceable market for them, like they have other markets that are way more interesting than 3D printing, right? They
Right.
service the gaming industry, they service the movie industry, the VFX industry, and these industries they require, as funny as it seems, a less detailed mesh, but other features that 3D printing do not require, like
Mm,
rigging, animation. So this is where they're focusing their efforts.
right.
But they're still making meshes, right? So what we thought is like, okay, maybe we can create the features that they are not gonna create because this is not the industry that they want to focus. They are on a very fast-paced race. To get to the to win, to dominate these industries, which are the interesting industries for them and for the investors who invested in this company. So we understood that this there was this like this vacuum of space that we could offer a good solution,
It is
we,
really interesting,
knowing that we
and I
have
think you
created
guys are.
3,000 3D printable models.
I was gonna say you guys are uniquely positioned in that you already have this huge library of models and I guess IP you could call it that you can now adapt this to. Um, you guys are also allowing any creator to. It's basically like a platform, right? So if I'm a Wexter, right, and I want to take
Mhm.
my mini dudes and make a mini dude generator, you're allowing that. How are you guys doing compensation in that situation? If someone submits a model, it's probably very tricky because you guys are charging a subscription. So how does that work?
So we have for the creators specifically, we have created this sort of like a program that well, every model that they put out there, they can sell. So they don't need to make it through our platform at all. Like if they want to sell on Code 3D or printables, whatever they want to sell to for their own Patreons, they can. And then they have this special link where they are compensated like an affiliation program
Ah,
for
okay.
the users they bring in.
Oh, that makes
So if
sense.
they, yeah, so it's a way for them to also make some extra source of income generating models for STLAI. They can sell the models, which is also something cool,
Right.
and they can and they have the affiliate link commission coming in as well.
Got it. So is effectively they take their model and they contribute it to the library, right? Like obviously it's not free to everyone, but like a dummy 13, which is free, but they're
Yeah,
contributing it and saying, "Hey, we're compatible." They can sell the model on their own, but then the way
yeah.
that they make money through the STL AI kind of collaboration is affiliation. So referring their
Yeah. So
users.
if they're bringing in new subs, they're getting
Yeah.
the commission for these subs. So
That makes
it's
sense.
like this two-way streak. Like you can sell the model, but you can also get a percentage of the
Ah, they can
subscriptions.
sell the model on your site as well.
No, not on our side. Like
Got it.
wherever they currently sell, because these people, like the ones that we have contacted, we have done something small at first, right, and controlled. So we have contacted a few designers, like 20 designers, no more than that. And for these guys, we have made the creator kit available before we actually made the official launch. And they have audiences, right? So they have their own audience. They
Yeah.
have people that contributed their work. So it's a possibility for them to also give their subscribers a discount and that kind of thing. And since they are bringing their audience in, it's only fair if they get the commission for those sales as well.
Yeah, naturally. Well, and I think it's also it's tricky if you were to like because there's the issue of your audience now getting access to their models for free if it's a paid model and you guys don't really have a good way to track
No,
that.
our
Like,
audience doesn't have access to their models.
oh, they
Like
don't.
No, they don't. Like there is this creator tab inside STLAI, and then you go over there and you see all the models that are linked. And then most of them are paid models. You have to pay to get access to these models
Got it.
for the creator, because the creator is the one who created it.
So it's not part, it doesn't become part of the
No,
STLFlix library. I see. Okay.
no, it's not. It's not.
Because what I was saying
Currently,
is
it's
it's
not.
kind of tricky to like, it's kind of like the YouTube Shorts issue, right? It's like if a user watches 800 shorts in a viewing session and they're a YouTube Premium member, like how do you figure out what percentage goes to what creator? It's challenging.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
really interesting. So let's talk a little bit about functional models, right? You guys are talking about releasing, I think, every week a new generator or a new adaptation. So as I understand it, you guys are really trying to focus on more functional models, right? And functional may not be, a bracket for your phone, but it may be a wine bottle holder, a toothpaste
Yeah.
thingy, a bookshelf. And where do those ideas come from to now say, okay, we have these customizers. What are the things? It'll be really funny if you say, "Oh, we just asked ChatGPT." But where do those ideas come from to be like,
We
okay,
don't.
what other things do people want to put their pet on or their loved ones?
So as you said before, we are in a very good position because we have a subscription, the largest, 32,000 active subscribers.
Wow.
And these people, they give us feedbacks and we have the download data. So we know what people like to
Ah,
download, what people want. And this kind of like is a good starting point for us. But then there's a technical challenge. So we develop features. Obviously, the features that we develop, they are already kind of like filtered by these download data and this
mm,
information that we have. Um, so we develop features like the head remover is a feature that we have. The articulation is another feature that we have. So we develop these features, and then once we have the feature available, it kind of opens up the possibility for our team to develop different models. So we are always like in these two
yeah,
separate pipelines, right? One is developing new features, another one is applying the features that we have developed into new customizers. So we're working like in these two pipelines in parallel. And sometimes the raw feature itself is already a customizer. So like we have the mini flexing, it's kind of like the raw feature over there is the articulation. You put it over there.
yeah,
So there's no, like the man-made model in that model specifically is the articulation itself, because we have developed it. We know the tolerances and we know it works as an articulated model. And then the feature goes into the customizer directly, right? And the other one is like, well, for instance, the head remover. We know that you can position your head into a lot of different types of models. So what are these models? What are the models that people download the most? So we know
right.
that our wine holders, they have always been very big in terms of downloads inside the community and in terms of sales for our commercial subscribers, right? So we knew that we had to tackle wine holders right at the start.
Right.
Incense holders, same thing. People like to sell incense holders. They are a big hit for our commercial subscribers. We can't do that with their head remover. It's something that we have to do. So we keep like working this way with
That's very
tech
interesting.
and demand.
That is very interesting. I hadn't thought about the amount of data that you guys, I mean, you're a tech company, right? But then one thing that concerns me is you have a selection bias, which is the kinds of people who subscribe and the kinds of data you
Yeah.
get are people who like, I think a lot of like, for example, so I don't care at all about tabletop gaming. And when I scroll STLFlix, you guys
Uh-huh.
have tons of it. I'm not saying that's all you have, but you have so much tabletop gaming and figurines and stuff like that. I think probably there's additional segments. I don't think, I know there's additional segments of people who like, let's say printer upgrades, people who love to upgrade
Uh-huh.
printers.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of, or personal organization, right? Like that's my thing. That's mostly what I print, as you can see
Person
from my
organization, we started to do more and more this year,
good,
but
because
inside STLFlix, because we haven't really found a AI application for that yet. But
sure,
we
sure.
inside STLFlix, we are doing more and more. We released like last week a organization system.
Very cool, because I think there's a lot of interesting opportunity there. Like just as an example, right? Like imagine, I'm just spitballing here, but imagine, right, your bathroom drawer, you and your wife, and you have Gridfinity for all, like, your
Uh-huh.
toothpicks, your wife's eyebrow pencils and stuff. And if you could put, like, it wouldn't be maybe 3D, but you could put on the Gridfinity labels. By the way, Gridfinity's full open source. You guys could do this idea. You don't even have to ask permission. But like adding it as a label of my face, like my face for my, toiletry stuff in
Uh-huh.
my Gridfinity and my wife's face, that's a fun idea. And I just worry
Yeah.
that with the customer base you currently have, you're getting data from them, which is great, and it means you're serving them what they want. But there's additional groups. Like imagine, the little spinning thing on the Bamboo Lab A1 and A1 Mini.
Uh-huh.
Like
Yeah.
that's a dome. You could
That you
make
could,
that
yeah.
uh
No, but
STL
we're
generator.
obviously we have the data from our community, but we
Sure.
are like we have like the way our team is structured for the core business, which is the STLFlix, is
Mm,
we have a few different squads, and each squad looks at certain types of models, and
great.
they don't necessarily look to our audience. Like
Great.
sometimes, like the majority of the time, we are looking outside
Great.
and we're using our internal data as a validator. So like, hey,
Great.
this is something cool. What do we have inside that kind of tells us that this is a successful model for our audience? There's good indication here. Like the people have been asking for us for functional models. And what we understood for a lot of time is that functional models were actually like the wine holders that we have.
Right.
It's a sculptural model that has some sort of function. This is how we approach
Totally.
functional models for a good time. And now recently we have been, because I think also the 3D printing community is expanding quite a bit. It
Yes.
started very geeky and now it's getting more broad. So now we are doing things that are more towards the industrial design, more clean, more minimalistic, but are also very good designs. Because one thing that we all worry a bit, and that we need to like find our position in the community, is that there are a lot of free models out there, and the majority of the very functional solve a problem kind of model, they are within that like free open source domain. So it's something that we kind of try to keep a little bit away. Like if there is a way to create something that is functional, but with a very good design, with something that has some sort of distinction into it, that actually makes the person that is paying for the subscription to have something unique, to have something different, then we design them that way. Um,
But why shy away from the open source stuff, right? Like if I let's take multi-boards, challenging. I'd need to check, how the license works with that. But like let's say that's another example, right? Like let's say at the office you have a multi-board, right? Like
uh-huh.
say the workshop, okay? You have a workshop or a auto garage, and each person has their own tools, right? Like how cool would it be to have a multi-board adapter where you put the person's head on their section of the multi-board?
Yeah,
Or
that would be cool. That would be cool.
schools, by the way, are now using multi-board, and I'm pretty sure to just make something that fits into multi-board, you don't even need permission. So it I don't, when you say like, oh, they're part of the open source world, run with that. You know what I mean? My opinion.
I
But
don't know.
like,
I
how
think
cool
I
would it
think
be to
that
have
if the
Gridfinity
license
AI
allows, I don't have
generators?
nothing at all against it. Nothing at
Yeah,
all
I think
against
it's
it.
really cool because also it's more of this like, it takes the onus off of you guys to generate and create the whole thing where it's like meet people where they already are, right? If I have Gridfinity and I would totally like, I now have models of my kids' faces, right? And we
Uh-huh.
have baby Eli. He's not a baby anymore, but he's not allowed to use metal forks. So we would have a
Uh-huh.
little Gridfinity with his little head on it, so he knows he's allowed to use the plastic forks. And
That would
Ari,
be
who's
cool.
5,
Like
can
I
use.
think I had a few different ideas when you mentioned the Gridfinity tabs, which
I
I
think it
might
could be really
explore later.
cool, and like multi-board, it'd be really cool. I would totally. I mean, I'm gonna do it after this, after we get off the call. But like, have a section of this multi-board, which is my wife's head and my head. And it's like, it's just a
Yeah,
fun, cool
I think
thing.
that's a neat idea. I'm gonna send it to
Yeah,
the team after to investigate.
yeah, it's pretty
And like
interesting.
even
Also,
like the tab kind of thing, I think it's also interesting. I think it's something that we could try to do, like a tab that you generate using AI, which kind of like resembles like your face, but perhaps in a more minimalistic approach. I don't know. I would have to
yeah.
think about that.
So Albert from Simply Print has a really great question. I don't know if you can answer it, But a lot of these AI-powered STL generators are popping up left and right. It seems that many of them use the same underlying engine. Do you use an open source one? Did you make your own AI? Do you license a model? Can you even answer that question?
Yeah, I can answer that. So what we have, we license, right? We don't build the LLMs. So we don't build the 2D and we don't build the 3D. These are like big back VC companies. We are not
Yeah.
a company that wants to play this game, and we are not playing this game. We don't know how to play this game. But this is actually a good thing for us, because if tomorrow a new 3D AI, a new 3D generator pops up and they have the API available and it makes sense for us, we can plug it in. So we don't need to be, when you sign up to one of these big generators, as he said, and there are a few, and they all have their premium products, which is what they offer in the API, you are kind of like constrained to one of those, right? So if you pay like the yearly fee of one of these LLMs, you're going to have to use it for one entire year.
Yeah.
But with our AI, since we are purchasing big quantities of credits as well, we have the opportunity to kind of like switch and change the engine as we want for the 2D and for the 3D. So if a new AI pops up and it's better than the other one, there's a big likelihood that we are able to plug it in and make it work and
Yeah.
update our current service to always have the latest and most updated, the best performance one.
Okay, so
And
if
when
you're
we're
already
talking about
answering
3D
questions
printing,
like that, I really
what?
want to know two things, which is, and feel free to tell me you can't answer, but like, I would love to know what the R&D budget was for this, right? Because on the one hand, as they say, there are these
It
amazing
was
tools that
high.
these VC-backed companies have built. On the other hand, you told me you've had to hire new people. Like, are we
Yeah.
talking 6 figures, 7 figures to develop this? Can you say?
We're talking, I'm not going to say
Okay,
the
that's fair.
budget.
And I also
But
want to
what
know,
I can
like,
tell you is that we had to change like the style of the staff that we have, because
right,
like we are a tech company, as you said, but we are also like a creative tech company, right?
sure,
The bulk of our product is still the models that we create, and this
right,
is like art and 3D modeling and sculpting, and this is where the majority of our staff currently is. And then we have the tech guys that develop our platform, and we have back-end engineers, front-end engineers that build this. But developers, they also have their own specialization. I don't know how to say
right,
that. They have their own expertise areas, right? And we had to hire people that have one very specific expertise, which is handling 3D objects in the web. And
right,
these are very, very hard engineers to find. And we had
right.
to find out abroad as well. So we had to, and then we had to also make our backend team a little bit more robust, because there's a lot of very difficult data to be handled around 3D models. Are like, if a small 3D model is like 20 megabytes or 30
Right.
megabytes,
And if
and you need to
30,000 of your customers download it each 2
exactly, how
times
do
a
you
month
manage
because
the
now you're
traffic?
customizing them. You know, I've
And then
already
there's
downloaded
also
6
this
or 7.
increment in budget, because you also need much more robust servers to make sure. And when we launched our anniversary like 2 months ago, we had an overload of traffic for our own customer base with our old products. So we were like, okay, guys, how do we make
Jeez.
this work with this completely different environment, handling this type of data? So we had to change a little bit the style of the staff that we have, especially in the tech team.
Yeah. So,
It was the toughest project that we've ever managed, because
it yeah, it
like there
sounds
are a
extremely
lot of different
expensive.
styles of professionals in these teams, like kind of clicking it in together, and they're all new teams because we hired, we're not a big company, we don't have like this a lot of extra budget to kind of bet on these things, so we were very like on point on how to do these investments,
It
and
sounds
it is
wildly
paying off. The
expensive.
adoption of the model is really good. The adoption of the product is really, really good. People are enjoying it, and the sales are good as well for the
Amazing.
launch.
So it sounds wildly expensive, which is a good reminder for me that I need to thank this episode's sponsor, but also Kakipedia says that he's not able to reach the subscribe page. So while I do this quick ad read, you might want to check with your
Oh
team why he
wow.
can't reach the subscribe page. Anyway, so as we're talking about how expensive it is to build an AI like this, it is not that expensive to run this podcast, but fortunately, it doesn't cost me out of pocket thanks to this episode's sponsor, which is PCBWay. You guys know all about PCBWay. I'm always recommending them. And recently I had them make a hardened 6061, maybe 4041 hardened steel drive shaft for me for my shredder project. And make sure you're subscribed for that because it's going to be a really interesting video. I'm working on it right now. But no matter what you need made, whether it's CNC machining, 3D printing, flexible PCBs, metal 3D printing, I've had them do. They're my go-to shop. I'm currently trying to learn how to run a CNC, and honestly, it's really freaking hard. It's easier just to go on PCBWay and order, and you get $5 off your first order. They've been supporting us for years. So thank you, PCBWay. All right. I've paid my bills now, Bruno, and hopefully you've gotten your registration page working for Kakipedia.
I'm sending it over to the marketing team to see
So you can
what might
get
be
your
might
bills
be happening.
paid. What does this AI cost, by the way, for personal use and also for professional use or commercial use?
Okay, so currently it's let me pull the page in here so I can. But it's currently I gotta double check that.
Which reminds me, I gotta sign up for this referral program after this because I think I'm gonna be referring a lot of people. I've been playing with it
Yeah, I think
nonstop.
you have to. You have to join the referral program. But 1 second. I'm pulling the pricing page. Okay, so we have personal, commercial, and we have a special launch, which we're calling lifetime, but it's not like you have credits for a lifetime, but these credits don't expire because in the other two plans, they expire, right?
Every month,
So
yeah.
for personal use, it's $14.90, and it gives you 24 credits. So one 2D generation is 1 credit, one 3D generation is 1 credit. So with 24 credits, you can generate 12 different models.
Yeah.
But since the models, they share the same generated head or the same generated model, you can have many more models than just the 12 that you have generated, right? Because you can use the same head on different customizers as you wish.
That's a lot. Like, you got to imagine people have 2 kids and a brother and a sister. That's actually a lot. I would have thought you'd get less and maybe charge less, but it's interesting that at that rate, I mean, you could literally in 2 months you could do your kid's entire daycare class is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, exactly. You can. The commercial is $29.90, and it gives you 60 credits, right?
Wow.
So you can generate 30 models in the end of the day. And you have the selling rights for these hybrid prints, which the personal you don't. So the hybrid is the one that we have, the STLAI, the STLFlix base model plus the STLAI generated model, right? And then we have this lifetime, which is the special launch price that we're having it's going to end at the end of the month, which is 1,600 credits, which means 800 generations. These credits, they don't expire. They don't expire. The credits that I've mentioned in the commercial and the personal plan, they expire.
So if you don't use them, you lose them, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
the personal expires in 60 days and the commercial expires in 180 days. The lifetime, they don't expire, so you can keep them for like years. We will be releasing new stuff, so whenever you feel like doing something, you have 800 generations to work with. The price per additional credit, if you eventually run off, it's the cheapest that we have. And STLFlix subscribers, they have 20% off on all the plans.
Oh, wow.
So
that's great.
The personal, commercial, and the lifetime, they all have.
So this is a separate subscription.
It is a separate subscription. Yes.
I see. Okay. Now, if
it is a separate subscription because, as I said, we pay the LLMs, right? So we pay per generation. So we couldn't just include on our current subscription.
Well, what I'm thinking though is, I'll be honest with you, if someone doesn't want a lot of the non-customized models, they can just sign up. I mean, I'm not recommending people do this. Sign up for both. Bruno has a great company, but they could just sign up for the AI and wait until you release customized versions of more and more and more things. Yeah. And they get, I mean, obviously they're not going to get all 2,000 models right away, But if all you care about is the customized stuff, it allows people to not subsidize the other stuff that they don't care about, right? Like miniatures of random stuff. So that's,
Yeah,
I think it's actually
exactly.
interesting that it's separate.
It's because like we had the filament for a while, right? In the
Yeah.
US, we still have a little bit of the stock. We're probably not purchasing anymore because of the
Really?
whole situation. Yeah, the
The
tariffs kind of made it
tariffs. Yeah.
unstable for us
Yeah.
to operate in the US at the moment. We're trying to find situations, but we couldn't wrap our heads around that yet. Um,
Sure.
but it's kind of like this the filament, right? I can't give a spool of filament for every subscriber that I have
Right.
because I would go bankrupt. And it's the same for the AI. Like I cannot give AI generations for our subs
Right.
because this would not be sustainable at all. So we do need to sell a different. It's not something
Yeah. But then you're
that is
discounting it
doable in
enough
other
so that
ways.
it's still, you still get rewarded as for being a subscriber. That's really
Yeah,
interesting. I think, like I said, I think it's interesting because if you're not interested in a lot of the generic stuff, if what you're interested in is, it's kind of like, I have these weird examples today, but I hate, so YouTube Premium is expensive. It's like $20 a month. It's more than Netflix. And what bothers me is I pay for it happily. If I had to give up everything else, I would only pay for YouTube Premium. I wouldn't pay for Netflix. I wouldn't pay for any of the other stuff. But what I hate is like, give me a $15 tier without freaking YouTube Music that I don't use because their AI is not as good as Spotify. So what you've done is basically said like, hey, if all you want is the personalized stuff, just pay for the AI and don't
yeah.
subsidize this model library. I think that's
And I
that's that's
feel I
fair.
feel like in the end of the day, perhaps the audience for the STLAI is a little bit broader than the audience for STLFlix. So I
Right.
think it would be creating a hurdle for people that want STLAI and don't want STLFlix, as you mentioned.
Right.
So I think it makes sense for it to be a separate subscription,
Now, okay, I've
even
got
though
some
I
good
think
questions
the
here.
best one is to have both.
Jack Smack has a good question, which was the same question I have, which is we're dealing with organic models, right? And I told you the only frustration that I had with the beta, right? Because I've been testing this since before it was perfected. I don't know if you would call it perfected or not, but I've been testing it since it was a little bit rough. And the only real complaint that I had was painting. Painting organic
Yeah.
models sucks. So I wanted to ask, will we get to a point where the AI can paint a 3MF, or will you get to a point where the AI can actually do, a clear crease in the hairlines so that it's easier to paint? How are we going to solve painting? Because I remember you gave me a new updated version as you guys tweaked the connection points, and I was like, I'm not painting that again, man.
Yeah, well, I think we're gonna get to a point where AI is going to paint the models. We have been debating with our AI provider. We found a solution to do that manually.
Yeah.
That you paint on a software and you pull into the Bamboo Studio and it's painted or whatever Creality,
Yeah.
whatever software you have. So we found a solution to do it manually. The question is either if they can apply that solution into the model before it's downloaded. And I think they will be able to do that
That's
for what they told
crazy.
me.
Because
Yeah.
how does a 3MF
I
actually
think
work? A
I'm not
3MF
I'm,
is
I'm not going to
basically
give
a
you
zip
a time
file,
frame
right?
for that because I honestly don't know the time frame for that, but that's
Yeah.
what we're aiming at to be.
Because a 3MF is basically a zip file, right? It's a zip file with all the STLs or
Yeah.
step files or whatever, and then some extra like text files that say, painting on this geometry. So ostensibly during the generation process, it knows obviously what's hair, what's eyes, what's beard. So it might be
I don't think
easier.
it does though.
It
I
doesn't?
like there are a few out there that they do segmentation that they
Hmm.
can kind of tell you, but it's far
Huh.
from being optimized. So it's not going to be that. It's going to be the overlay of the image map with the surface that it's going to tell in this point of the surface this color.
Wow. It's really challenging, but I guess like I was saying, the interim solution, and I think you alluded at this, right, when you regenerated my model for me with the updated neck, is in the interim, if you can just train the model to have very clear delineations,
Yeah,
right?
that would
Because
be, and this is something that we are trying to do, that we're making it perfected with the 2D. Because with the 2D, this is one of the things that we put in the prompt. Like, make sure that since this is because what we make is a visualization. If you've used the beta, what you see is a visualization of an object.
yeah.
Like, what we tell the 2D AI to make is the visualization of an object. Then the 3D AI is going to interpret that as an object. So it's a combination of optimizing the 2D and giving more resolution to the 3D. So
Okay.
to make it
And
painted with the creases, as you mentioned.
And good clarification from Albert. 3MF is not normally at least just a zip file with STL files. The actual 3MF standard is a replacement of STL, where 3D models are defined as XML, but Bamboo, Orca, etc. have done a semi-hostile takeover and used the 3MF format
I've heard
without
that story.
following its schema. If it includes STL models, it cannot be opened in 3D programs as a 3D model. Now that's fantastic. Thank you
Yeah,
for sharing.
I've heard that story, but not as in depth as he explained right now.
That's fascinating. So
But there
what's
are other 3D extensions as well. There's STL, there's GLB, there's OBJ, there's
I'm
3MF.
I'm
So
trying to push step, man. I want step to be a thing, and the first thing that needs to
Step is
happen,
good.
I mean,
It's a 3D
it already
model.
works in slicers. It's modifiable. It's easier to work with
Yeah.
than meshes in most ways. The only thing that has to happen, and I need to like pressure the folks over at Prusa, is none of the model downloading websites auto preview step files, which is so annoying. And
Uh,
also, by the way, Mac OS, like I don't know if you know, I don't know if PC does this, but if I have 53 STL files in a folder and I want to flip through them, the Finder, which is like my computer on PC, will actually show the icon is previewable and you can go rotate it 3D. So
yeah,
if
yeah.
I'm like,
I use Mac as well. I prefer
but
so
Step
much.
doesn't do that, and it's so
No.
annoying.
And 3MF doesn't either.
Same. And so we gotta.
3MF
I
doesn't
don't know
give you preview.
who we need to complain to at Apple. Like, how does that happen? But
I know that
STL.
3MF is also like a project that has people on it. I think our devs have contacted them already to understand like the painting scheme, because we've been using the paint, the model manipulation. We started doing that when we had the mini me at STLFlix, right? Because we have customizable models inside STLFlix that you can custom and change not using AI. And we already had this issue back then, but the way we solved it is by having each piece of the model a separate model in the 3MF. So it's not gonna come painted for your computer, but you just with one click you pick the color of the hair, the eyes, all of that. But with the AI, we haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. And I'm
It's
trying to
tricky.
figure out also what STL stands for, the actual term. I thought it was like
It's
Stanford
stereolithography, isn't it?
stereolithography,
Yeah,
but I thought
which
that
is the process.
wasn't it
The
also like standard triangulated
I
something?
don't know. Maybe.
Cause hold on. I didn't just make that up. That comes from somewhere. Hold on. When you open it up in Finder, it says, here we go. Standard, wait, I didn't make it up. When you open up and it's standard tessellated geometry file format.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. I
Yeah.
always thought it was like stereolithography for some reason.
Standard tessellated. Um, I don't know what tessellated means, but I wanted to
It's the
ask you, Bruno.
tessellation, right? It's the mesh.
Okay.
I think so. I think that's what it is.
All right.
Because
What's
that's what it is
next?
at the end of the day, right? It's a mesh of points that it creates faces within.
Oh, here we go. There's all wow, we have the best audience in the world. So Tech
Let me see.
Jeeper says, I'm working on adding step to printventory. 3MF has full preview. What is printventory? I don't know. Someone needs to tell Apple that a 3MF is just a zip with the image already in it. 3MF consortium. There's a 3MF. Wow, I'm learning a lot just
Yeah,
reading the
that's what
comments.
I was talking about. It's an open source project.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, we need to. I'm gonna be in
And
California soon. I'm gonna.
they are looking more into the 3D printing community also, because like currently there's not a way to download like from the web with the web viewer. Don't know specifically, but there's not a way to download the 3MF with the current colors from like the viewer. There is if you
Weird.
put the file. Yeah, I don't know how that works. So it's
Hostile
a complex.
takeover. Again, I think I don't, I'm the worst person in the world with mesh geometry, but I feel like there's a way to just tell the AI, make a 0.05 millimeter crease on the hairline on the
Yeah,
eyeline,
that would be cool.
and then people can just do it themselves. Which
Yeah,
anyway,
but
let's be honest, they're probably
that's
gonna
the
do a lot of mapping by themselves anyway.
Yeah, but that's like what happened when we tried to negotiate with these companies. Like the majority of them said, no, we're not going to build a feature for 3D printing because that's not what we're looking for, right? We're building features for other industries. So if you go in, because whenever like they develop a new feature with AI, they need to rerun the entire learning process of the AI, right? So they have to rerun the servers for like a long time, and every rerun that they do is like millions of dollars that they need to to invest in order to create whenever like an AI launches a new version, it means that they rerun the entire learning process or up to the point that they were before in order to make it a little bit better. And
That's annoying.
these processes are super expensive. So
Yeah.
they raise new rounds of investment just to rerun the testing and make the AI learn something new. And they're not going to do that for 3D printing, which I think it makes sense.
I'm gonna
They're
connect you to
looking for
Albert
the
because
other
he
market.
knows so much about this, and he's in the 3MF consortium, and he's now talking about XML and
Nice.
JavaScript, which is over my head. I'm gonna connect you guys in a WhatsApp message,
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
you can
I'm
pressure
interested.
him to also come on the podcast where we can talk about this. But it's very interesting to me. It's super interesting to me
He
as
had
well.
spoken
Like,
with my partner a bit. He said in the
okay,
comments with
great,
Lincoln.
great,
Cool.
that's fantastic. What's interesting to me about AI is I have this belief that no human was put on this earth to do, I don't want to call it mundane work, but to do like the unpleasant work, right? Like no human was put on this earth to, I want to be careful and not offend someone, but like
Yeah, but I get it. The boring work. We don't need to go any
the
further.
boring work, I used to say that my example used to be accounting, and then I met people who love accounting and they just love the numbers. So
There
now
are
I'm
these
very
type of
careful with
people out there.
examples, but no human was put on this earth. Like if you're running an Etsy store, you're an entrepreneur, you're a business, you're printing stuff, you're promoting, you're shipping, packaging, all this other shit. You were not put on this earth to sit in Orca Slicer and paint pixel by pixel by pixel. Oh no, I'm missing a little gap in the nostril. Like, no, F that. So that to me is what's
I don't
exciting
know.
about AI, is liberating people.
Painting books are a big market now.
Yeah, true. True. I want to
So
ask
this is
you,
like a painting book in 3D.
if this goes well for you guys. You may not be able to answer this, but if this goes well, how expensive is it to run these models for you guys? Like, uh,
I think the question is, do we want to run these models?
mm,
Sometimes it's better to just like keep using, like I don't want to have an Amazon web service and I still want to have my website on air.
yeah,
But I think eventually, if it comes to the point where we look and say, hey, this is financially feasible, it is something that we would have to sit and debate. I don't think I have an answer for that. And I don't
yeah.
think perhaps we have a consensus within the leadership team about that.
It's
We haven't really
interesting.
discussed that.
It's interesting, right? Because I imagine, you've calculated based on usage, right? You're not going to lose money if someone generates, but my eyes were open talking to Jonathan of Keep Making, the multi-board creator, where he was like, we're very lucky that we found Thangs, because just the bandwidth downloads of multi-board is like $17,000 a month or something like that, or maybe
Uh-huh.
total. Like, he's like, we're very lucky that thangs.com exists, and printables and Thingiverse, that they
Uh-huh.
host our stuff for free, because, and they're not even using AI compute. So I'm just thinking to myself, like, if we get to a point where you have 30,000 members generating 8 to 10 to 20 to 30 models a month, like, it really gets me thinking about, renewable energy and stuff like that, because I watched this interview with Sam Altman. He's like, the only thing limiting AI right now is power. We don't have nearly enough electricity to power all the things that
Yeah.
these models will do for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. But also, technology becomes more efficient as we
True.
go, right? Like the amount of energy that we need to power an electric car these days is
True.
I might have the risk of saying something that is not true, but I believe that currently we don't need as much power as we needed when
Yeah.
electric cars came out. The batteries are getting better also, but I think
Yeah.
there's efficiency coming in, and like and when we're talking about computing power also, like the more we go, like the less the more powerful the things become, the less they need energy consumption and all of that.
True.
I think we're in this pivotal moment where we're like, oh my god, what is going to happen? But I think
Totally.
society always thrives in finding good and ingenious solutions for these moments. So I think we
Yeah.
are definitely on a situation where it's like, oh my God, no one knows what's going to happen. And when we have the CEO
Totally.
of these companies saying things that are very scary,
Right.
but I think we always thrive in these situations to find better solutions and come out as a better society in the end. I think it's been like that for
I
the
hope so,
entire
man. I hope
history.
so. It's 36 degrees Celsius here right now. I really hope we're going to use
Oh,
AI to
I wish I
solve.
was in a 36 degrees Celsius environment right now.
Why? How hot is it there?
I don't know. Right now it's like 15, 17,
15?
17.
You guys get winter
But
in Brazil?
I'm in the southern part of Brazil. We have winter. We have winter. It was like 3 degrees this weekend.
Oh shit. I always picture you just like hanging out in Rio on the beach, man. No, okay.
That
Southern
would
part
be
of
my
Brazil.
life, my dream life. That's what I would
Okay,
like.
all right,
But
fair,
it's not
fair. I
the
learned
reality
something
in the
new
south of
today.
Brazil.
I did not know that. Well, very cool. So STLAI, guys, is the link to check out. We have a link in the description. Honestly, I wouldn't say this. You're not paying me to say this. It's actually really cool. And I'm doing a short for you guys, a YouTube short. And I literally started the short with like, okay, I'm the first one to be skeptical of AI slop and crap, but
Nice.
this is really cool. Like the minute you had me as well, and I wanted to comment below, it's like, 800 seems like a lot. But then when you realize like, I can generate my kids uh, every possible expression. And then today I've been working on a project. We have a video coming out, and I was looking at some B-roll footage of me and my son fixing the thing 3 months ago, and I was like, he already doesn't look like that. It's crazy. So like, I'm just thinking for parents, right? 12 seems like a lot, but if your kids are young like
Yeah.
mine, like the model that I generated last week is not going to look like my kids in 6 months. So I'm excited about it. I'm really excited to be able to generate stuff. And every single person I've shown has been like, I want one of myself, of my grandkids, of my nieces and nephews. I'm now printing my kids in bulk. Uh,
Nice.
but I think it's really cool. And I think it's a refreshing take on AI, or it's combination of human creativity and personalization. I'm really excited to see what you guys are working on. So keep up the good work.
Awesome. Thank you very much for the good words. And we're excited also, man. We're excited. It's a new challenge that
Totally.
we're having a lot of difficulties to manage, but it's been an amazing ride, and it's super cool to finally have this product in the air because it took us so long. We postponed the launch like 2 or 3 times until it was like up to the stage that we feel it's
Yeah.
launchable. And right now we're getting the first very cool results within the community, which I'm enjoying. We've been sharing the posts on our internal group
Amazing.
chat saying, hey, how awesome this is. It's like, and people keep this is something cool about launching a creative tool as well, because people keep finding new applications
Totally.
by like not using the rules as we have designed, and they find new ways to make things more interesting and different than what we thought, giving us new insights as well. So it's always good to, like, if you work on a personal project, put it into the actual world in order to see what people
Totally.
do with it, because it changes and it becomes something else. It's awesome.
Amazing. I'm gonna get you guys that Death Racer STL, and
Yeah, please
we'll
do. Please do.
go from there. All right, my friend. Thanks again, and let's do it again soon.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in to the Infill Podcast. For show notes or links to anything mentioned in today's episode, visit thenextlayer.com. If you enjoyed the episode, please don't forget to leave us a review wherever you're listening, or click the like button to let us know, and consider subscribing to The Next Layer on YouTube so you can tune in live and participate in the next conversation. We'll see you on The Next Layer.